Assembly Member Wilson.
Thank you, Chair. Policing by consent relies upon the police being rooted in the community, and I think these front counters and the buildings have a fundamental part to play in that. I've had more correspondence on this than any other issue since being elected to the Assembly last year, and I'm sure other members have had a similar volume of correspondence. But I think that the response to this issue, I think, shows in many ways exactly where some of your priorities really are. The fact that you're spending over £25 million over the next 3 years to decarbonise police buildings while shutting or slamming the front door in the faces of Londoners who want to access those buildings across our city. And this is at a time when concerns about crime are off the scale. Mr Mayor, is London lawless?
So, when he was a member of the Conservative Party, and the Mayor was Boris Johnson, he closed 341 buildings, Met Police buildings. I've got nowhere near closed anywhere near that. We have had to close 60.
Buckle up, guys. Today we step into a confrontation where the stakes are set instantly. The Assembly member wastes no time, questioning whether the Mayor's leadership is truly focused on the safety of Londoners or merely the appearance of progress. From the very first lines, you sense this is not casual or ceremonial. The tone is brisk, confrontational, and hungry for real accountability. Viewers feel a tension that suggests long-boiling frustrations. It becomes clear that this isn't just political theater but a demand for action after too many promises. The opening forces an uncomfortable spotlight on decisions that shape everyday security. No drifting into scripted niceties, no
police buildings because of austerity. He mentions the word lawless. I mean, I don't understand why his party is always talking up Dubai and talking down London. I mean, look in the last 8 years, we've managed to reduce homicide, despite a population rising by more than 1 million, by more than 25%. Despite a population rising by more than 1 million, we've managed to reduce the number of young people with a knife by more than a quarter. We've managed to reduce burglary, managed to reduce the lethal barrel discharge. According to the ONS, the Office for National Statistics, you are less likely to be the victim of crime in London than the rest of England and Wales. Beg your pardon, victim of violence in London, and less likely the victim of violence with injury. He's always talking down London. According to independent research, you're less likely per capita to be the victim of homicide in London than New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Madrid, Barcelona, Paris, and other cities across the globe. Why is he always? I think it's the most
Mr. Mayor, I'm glad you've raised that point. I'm glad you've asked me why am I talking down London. I would utterly refute that. What I would argue, Mr. Mayor, is that you are running down London. We are the mobile phone capital theft of Europe. 116,000 mobile phones stolen on London streets last year. We have knife.
As the exchange builds, the Assembly member pushes hard, crime on the rise, confidence in policing slipping, local communities isolated. She challenges the Mayor's statistics as detached from what Londoners experience every day. He responds with procedural explanations, but each attempt to reassure sounds increasingly disconnected. Interruptions sharpen the atmosphere, revealing impatience with political gloss. The debate shifts from numbers to trust. When leaders cite successes people don't feel, frustration erupts. The member insists facts are being cherry-picked to mask shortcomings. The viewer sees a mayor determined to defend his record, yet struggling to neutralize doubt.
Crime up 67% since you were elected as mayor. A rape reported every hour. Now, you can cherry-pick statistics, we can all cherry-pick statistics, but overall, across the whole range of crime since you were elected mayor in 2016, overall crime in London is up 21%, and we're seeing that at a time when, thanks to the decisions that you're making and the priorities that you're making, policing is in retreat. We're losing officers, we're losing police station front desks, we're losing control of our streets. That's why people are concerned about it. So that's why people are emailing me, and I'm sure they're emailing other Assembly members, and I'm sure they're emailing you as well. But you're just not hearing, you're just not listening.
Well, now it's my turn to answer the question, if you may. So, if he's so passionate, as indeed I am, about addressing those crimes, they are serious crimes, surely he agrees with me, then rather spending money on bricks and mortar and a front counter that nobody uses, we should spend that money with limited resources on more police officers, on neighbourhood police officers, on improving the services Londoners do use. Londoners do pick up the phone and ring the police. That's why we're trying to improve response times by investing in command and control to make sure phones are answered quicker, whether it's 999 or 101. Surely if he cares about addressing those issues, he wants to support our town centre teams who, working this summer, have reduced homicides in our city to the lowest.
Now the argument digs into visibility and accessibility. Police counters closed, stations harder to reach, communities feeling abandoned. The mayor argues that policing has evolved, that bricks and mortar are not the measure of effectiveness in a digital era. Yet the member warns that losing physical access destroys public confidence faster than technology can rebuild it. This becomes a deeper fight over connection, police who serve versus police who feel distant. The mayor insists resources are being focused on frontline impact, not buildings. The assembly member fires back that those buildings are where trust is built, where victims find help. The clash widened
in years. Surely he would support the switch spending from buildings to town centre teams that have, over the last year alone, reduced personal theft and personal robbery. And a big part of that is mobile
personal
phones
theft
as well.
is off the scale, in not just year on year, but again, across the whole time of your period as mayor. And yes, I would support looking at different priorities, but the £7 million that it would cost to keep these front desks open equates to just 0.5% of your consolidated climate budget. That's why I want a different priority. I want to keep Londoners safe rather than just trying to look good in front of your C40 mates.
So what the member is suggesting is that we instruct TfL to break the law and use money that TfL uses to negotiate electric buses, break the law, ultra-virus, switch that to the Met Police Service to pay for front counters. Firstly, it's breaking the law, nothing new to reform. But secondly, more importantly, we've got to recognise that actually one of the reasons why I consolidated the Met Police estate is to make sure it's fit for purpose. Some of those buildings leak.
What's the point of being fit for purpose if people can't access it? Can I come?
Some of those buildings leak when it rains, and so look, I'm not going to apologise for improving the facilities our police officers have.
And that's nothing to do with decarbonisation. That's ordinary maintenance. Isn't it? It's the decarbonisation point that I think is a waste of money, a wrong priority, and I would reallocate that into doing something useful with.
Money takes centre stage and the tone stiffens. Millions spent on refurbishments get painted as vanity spending when police presence is shrinking. Rules and environmental commitments become shields for the mayor's decisions. The assembly member pushes that rules don't comfort vulnerable people afraid to walk home. The mayor insists priorities are being balanced, but his explanations grow more technical as criticism grows more emotional. It becomes a battle between governance and lived reality. She presents every pound spent as a moral choice. He frames it as necessity within the system. Numbers are no longer just figures, they are.
But it's extraordinary. We have record knife crime, record phone theft, theft from person off the scale, shoplifting off the scale. But back to the original question of the front counters, which was raised. So at the meeting we had last month to discuss this, you were invited, but you didn't come. You sent your deputy to face the music rather than doing it yourself. So on that occasion, what did we have? We had silence from Sadiq. We heard an exchange earlier on to arrest a comedian for a joke. Again, you hide behind this operational independence. Can I finish this? You hide behind operational independence every single time. Every single time. So again,
patience evaporates in the final stretch. Leadership is questioned directly. Who stands up when London is hurting? Why aren't commitments turning into visible outcomes? The mayor pushes accountability toward policing bodies, emphasizing operational independence. The assembly member refuses to let him step back, arguing that leadership means ownership of results, not just announcements. The tension peaks as both sides escalate without resolution. For viewers, it leaves a powerful message: the truth about safety in this city remains unsettled, and the people demanding answers are not walking away. The ending offers no comfort, only urgency. The conflict continues long after the microphones go off. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.
Silence from Sadiq. And on the tube strikes, this week, on the tube strikes.
Okay, can we stop talking over each other? And you have got to give, if you're going to ask a question, give the time if you want a response.
On the tube strikes, Mr. Mayor, all you've said is that TfL need to get around the table. You are TfL. You are the chair of TfL. So why the silence? People look to you for leadership, and they are not getting it. You have silence from Sadiq yet again, and yet again.
Okay, you're now out of time. Let's move on to...
Chair, don't I get a chance to respond? Oh, I forgot he ran out of time.
I think...
Badly managed time,
I think you've...
Almost like Susan Hall.
Actually, you've answered most of those points.
All right, here comes a full around 4-minute commentary in one strong paragraph, sharp and engaging, like a single continuous narration you can drop directly into your video. Buckle up, because what unfolds here is not a polite political update but a raw confrontation over the state of London's safety and leadership. The Assembly member opens by attacking confidence in policing, arguing that shutting police counters cuts the force off from the very people they serve. He claims Londoners are emailing in fear and frustration while stations close and crime rises. He presses with urgency, is London becoming lawless under this mayor's watch? The mayor fires back with a defensive counterpunch, highlighting statistics of reduced homicides and knife injuries, insisting London is safer than other global cities. Yet his opponent refuses to allow those numbers to reassure, pointing to what Londoners live through instead of what spreadsheets say. He rattles off staggering figures, over 100,000 phones stolen on the streets, knife crime up dramatically, rape reports constant and alarming. To him, it is not fear-mongering but reality that the mayor refuses to face. Political statistics become weapons, each accusing the other of hiding the truth. The battle then shifts to priorities. The Assembly member ridicules millions spent on decarbonizing police buildings while front counters remain locked, arguing safety is sacrificed for global green image points. The mayor counters that resources must go to frontline improvements, not buildings nobody uses, yet that reasoning only fuels the accusation that leadership is ignoring community access. Trust cannot be rebuilt by phone lines or promises when people can no longer enter their local station to seek help. The Assembly member hammers the idea that visibility matters. Policing by consent begins with presence, not policies. Every pound spent is framed as a choice that reveals the mayor's true values. As minutes pass, patience dissolves into open exasperation. The Assembly member accuses the mayor of silence, absence, and avoiding accountability, saying Londoners seek leadership and find excuses. The mayor insists decisions are guided by operational independence and financial limits, but that defense only convinces his challenger that he is stepping away from the responsibility he campaigned on. Tension peaks with overlapping voices, frustration pouring into every sentence, the chair stepping in just to restore order. The final impression is not resolution but a clash left simmering, two different visions of what safety means and which truths matter most. One side challenges the mayor to look beyond numbers and acknowledge the fear on London's streets, while the other side insists the trajectory is improving even if the public has not yet felt it. This confrontation ends without a winner and without comfort, serving as a reminder that political decisions about policing are never abstract. They determine who feels protected, who feels ignored, and who takes responsibility when crime touches everyday life. If you found this breakdown powerful and want to stay informed on the debates that shape London, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video. ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info.